So Bob, the guys behind camera was just asking just the distinction that you're making with fixed income and equity. And I guess it really is how you can make money through debt versus equity. Can you explain that difference?
Well, with fixed income, what you're essentially doing is lending an entity money, and you're lending them based on a contract. So that contract would have certain clauses in it saying, what is the interest rate that you're going to pay, how often you're going to pay it, what's going to happen if you default, what sort of securities is backing this loan. Whereas when you're investing in equities, you're really investing in like a business. So you're along for the ups and the downs. You're in it. There's no fixed payment coming forward. You get paid when after the lenders are paid. So it's a little bit more volatile in terms of the payout. The payouts with respect to a business, you rank last, whereas fixed income investors rank first. So in the event of a business being liquidated, for instance, the fixed income investors would get their money back first, whereas the equity investors would get their money back last.
Right.
So from that dynamic, you can see that there's a little bit more risk associated with being an equity investor, because you're the last one in the line. So, to use a sort of a euphemism, if you're lining up, for some soup, the person at the front of the line, have less risk. Whereas the person at the back of the line is anxiously watching what's going on at the front. So, so that is really how you sort of look at the differences in the risks between the two different kinds of investment.
I guess in equity, in your analogy, he takes the big risk, but he has a better chance to get more of the meat at the bottom.
Yes, exactly. So if there's a lot of soup left,
yes,
he gets a bigger bowl.
That's right.
whereas
the fixed income is set. It's a set.
Right, exactly. You could look on it like, say, there's a ladle for the soup spoon. So that is your payout. Right? So each person at the front gets that ladle, and them guaranteed to get that ladle. But at the back end of the line now, when you come up, and if there might be several ladles left, and and that's all yours. Right. Or there might be nothing. Right. So
you take that risk. Okay.
Exactly.
That's good. Alright. So
typically with respect to when you're buying bonds, usually we deal with different brokers, and usually there's a fixed minimum amount that you have to purchase. Like when we're dealing with our international brokers, the minimum for some bonds is like 250,000 US. So what we do with respect to the funds is that we pool everybody's funds together. Even sometimes pools it with some of Barita's money, because when we're doing investment analysis, we also look at it from a Barita perspective, and we invest alongside with our clients, and we buy that particular bond, and then we can allocate that to the different different unit holders according to how much they had contributed to that purchase amount.
So really, a small investor, big investor in the same fund, they get to benefit from the returns. Same returns. So it's really beautiful if you're a retail investor.
Exactly.
You get that sort of exposure to not just even one bond, but a number of bonds as well.
Exactly. Because as you know, just as in the equity market, in the fixed income market, diversification is always key.
That's right.
Yeah. So if you're lending funds to multiple people, it's always better than lending money to to one person. So diversification is
Last
key.
question, Bob. I look at you. You look very young. How old are you actually?
No, I'm not telling you that. That's confidential. Yeah. Trade secret.
There's a lot of insight and years, I'm sure. Don't let the face fool you. Okay? There's a lot of years of insight.
Okay. I appreciate that sort of a backward compliment.